Druddigon! Don't worry, I'll avenge you. Time to activate the revenge plan. First, 20 damage from Rough Skin, then another 20 with Water Shuriken, and to finish the job, a 100 damage revenge attack. This is the Marshadow and Friends deck. These are some of my favorite Pokemon, so I'm very happy to be able to play them together. The star of the deck is Marshadow, who can do a big 100 damage but only right after one of your Pokemon is knocked out. And if we need to get knocked out, we might as well do damage back with Druddigon. Its ability kicks in every time it gets hit, so we can have it tank in the active and weaken the opponent in the process. And we also have Greninja to increase our damage even more with Water Shurikens. When everything goes well, we can do a maximum of 170 damage in one turn. Realistically, that won't always happen, but you can still do lots of damage. This is a deck with high damage potential, but there are some pretty rough weaknesses. Since I only play Fighting Energy, our only real attacker is Marshadow, and it doesn't really do much damage without a knockout. Our opponent can skip attacking until their board is fully set up, and there's not much we can do to stop that. Also, bench attackers are becoming more common these days, which can make Druddigon not very useful. This is the list I've used, but Marshadow might be a bit better with some secondary attackers like these. Or you could even add Water Energy to this deck to attack with Greninja too. This isn't a perfect deck, but when things go well, it can be pretty cool. We're going first here with Druddigon in the active, and it looks like our opponent is doing the same thing. We are playing Professor's Research to find more cards, and we find our Marshadow and a second Druddigon. We can bench the Marshadow for now and save the second Druddigon until we know what our opponent is playing. They have a Professor's Research to draw some more cards, and also a Pokeball, so we'll see here soon what they're pairing this Druddigon with. They bench Abra, so they're playing an Alakazam deck, and they also bench Mute EX, which could be a problem later on with its genome hacking attack. We draw into the Frogadier for our turn, but we still don't have the Froakie, so we can't start evolving yet. We can start attaching to the Marshadow at least, and pass it over to them. They found the Kadabra really early, so they're able to evolve. It looks like they're probably going to attack with Alakazam pretty soon. Our draw for the turn is a Pokeball, so hopefully we can get our Froakie here, and we do. We can bench that. Next turn we'll be able to evolve. And at this point, I think we need to bench our second Druddigon, because if they have Alakazam and Sabrina, I don't want them to knock out either my Froakie or my Marshadow. They evolve into Alakazam and play a Research. I don't know if they're able to get the Druddigon out of the active this turn, so they're just gonna pass it to us. We can evolve into Frogadier, and we have the Greninja off the draw for now. And I guess we can just attach an energy to Druddigon to make retreating a little easier. We'll pass to them, and they're attaching to Mew and also passing. This might be a slow one until we can get our Druddigons out of the active. We drop into Professor's Research here. We can evolve into Greninja to start pressuring them just a little bit. We can use Water Shuriken here. I put it onto Druddigon, but maybe it was a better idea to put it onto their Alakazam or Mew instead. But I guess I'm fine just putting it on the Druddigon and passing to them. They have their second Abra, and they are slowly powering up their Mew as well for their second attacker. They do have Leaf, so it looks like their Alakazam is coming in to do some damage. And they're gonna do a Psychic for 90, which is almost a one-hit KO, but not quite. We can do 20 back to them with Druddigon's Rough Skin ability. I attach an energy to Druddigon on the bench to potentially retreat if needed later on. We don't really have a good place to put all this energy, so I guess it kind of just goes wherever at this point. We can use Greninja's Water Shuriken here to start damaging their Mew EX to make that a little easier to KO, and just pass it over to them. They have a potion here, so they're going to heal up to full health, and the second Psychic will take our Druddigon down, but we're gonna hit for 20 with that Rough Skin ability right back. They're gonna take the first knockout, which means our Marshadow's Revenge is finally unlocked. And we have a second Marshadow that we can bench and attach an energy to. And we're going to be able to knock this Alakazam out with the combination of a Water Shuriken and Marshadow's Revenge attack. We had a Giovanni in our hand as well, so we could have taken the knockout that way, but I think it's important that we save the Giovanni for later just in case we need that extra 10 damage. They're gonna use Potion here to bring their Mew all the way up to full health, and since they're attacking into our Marshadow, we won't have the 20 extra damage from the druddigon. They can use Marshadow's Revenge attack right back, and normally we wouldn't be able to close this game out, but because we saved our Giovanni, we have the extra 10 damage to finish the knockout. We have 20 from the Water Shuriken. We'll use Giovanni to increase our damage by 10, which is just enough to finish this Mew and take the final 2 points for the game. In this next game, we're going up against a Beedrill deck, and Beedrill gets stronger with the more Pokemon that I have on my bench, so maybe I shouldn't have preemptively benched so many Pokemon, but that's okay. They're going first, so we can see what else they're playing this Beedrill with, and it's a Pidgey, so maybe they're playing the Pidgeot EX as well, and Pidgeot has a pretty similar attack to Beedrill, except it's a lot stronger. They're just gonna pass over to us. We draw into a Pokeball, so hopefully we can find our Marshadow here, and we do. We can bench that and start putting fighting energies into play, and just pass over to them. And they find the Pidgeotto and the Beedrill to evolve. Their Beedrill's attack is going to be pretty strong because our bench is completely full, and they're gonna be able to start attacking on their second turn. Yep, just using Beedrill's attack for 70 into our druddigon, but our druddigon's ability will kick in and do 20 right back. They'll pass to us and we draw into Giovanni, which is not very useful for us at this point of the game. All we can do is keep attaching to Marshadow and just pass it back over to them. They're attaching to Pidgeotto and they have the Pidgeot EX to evolve. They could take the knockout here with Beedrill, but I guess they're deciding to not attack quite just yet. Maybe they're waiting until their Pidgeot EX is fully powered up. We do draw into the Frogadier, so we can start evolving that. And we can attach an energy to Druddigon to maybe make retreating easier if they continue not to attack. For our opponent's turn, they bench another LGM and just attach to Pidgeot EX. They'll pass over to us. We draw into another Marshadow. At least we can start using Greninja's ability, Water Shuriken. Here, because Pidgeot has so high of an HP, I think we have to put all of our Water Shurikens onto Pidgeot to make it easier to KO later down the line. We can attach an energy to the second Druddigon to retreat that if we need to, and just pass over to them. We're gonna need them to take a knockout here before we're able to do any real damage. They evolved their benched LGM, and now their Pidgeot is ready to go. They're going to finally take the knockout with Beedrill, but they're gonna have 20 damage right back at them. Here we can start taking knockouts back. We'll send Marshadow up into play. We can use Professor's Research here, but I think we really want to bench our second Marshadow so we can chain Marshadow attacks back to back. We'll use another Water Shuriken here on Pidgeot. Now that's in range to potentially get knocked out next turn. And we can do 100 damage with Marshadow to knock the Beedrill out. Honestly, a little bit overkill, but that's kind of the only thing we can take knockouts with. And as expected, they're sending up the Pidgeot EX to finish things off. Their Scattering Cyclone is going to do lots of damage because our bench is still full. They're attaching to the bench Beedrill and just attacking for 140 damage. That'll knock out all of our Pokemon, but because we have our second Marshadow ready to go, we can attach to Marshadow here, use Greninja's Water Shuriken for 20, and we saved our Giovanni again, so we'll have the extra 10 damage to finish out the game, and they concede before we can use the attack. That was the Marshadow and Friends deck. I know this might not win all the time, but I like these Pokemon a lot, so I wanted to give it a shot. If you try the deck or have some other Marshadow variation you've been playing, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.